Hello everyone, this is Jeremy and welcome to episode 5 of Seaopolis, where today I want to get organized. That means I want to take all of these items that we have that are coming from, say, our sifter, and, most of our automatic item generations coming from sifters, but also from our cobble farm here, and store it in a sensible and clean way. So for now, that probably means drawers. Another thing I want to get to today is into digital storage of some sort. And for that, we will be using refined storage. So refined storage is the digital storage mod of the pack. And now that we have access to quartz and iron, well, quartz plus iron makes quartz enriched iron. And this is a base block for most things refined storage. So I'm hoping that we can get our inventories unified and stored into drawers. First of all, let's actually craft the drawers. So I need drawer controllers and a whole bunch of regular drawers. I'm actually thinking maybe instead of just using regular drawers, we'll actually just use compacting drawers for more or less everything. Because compacting drawers, they're just good. They hold 128 stacks as opposed to the 32 stacks that normal drawers hold. And if the item that they're holding is compactable, that is, there's like a 4x or 2x2 or 3x3 recipe, it'll store both forms of it. So the only downside for that is I need a whole lot of stone. And while my cobble generator does make stone, the block breaker turns it into cobblestone. So I'm thinking I'll get a igneous extruder. Can I make this? Magma cream. By melting magma cubes. We can, this is what, slime ball plus blaze, and I have some blaze, right? This makes blaze? Yeah. So let's get another igneous extruder. I don't want to retask this one and make ourselves just a dedicated stone generator. The first couple compacting drawers I'll use to hold our netherrack, which conveniently does compact, and just stone, which apparently doesn't, but again, a compacting drawer, even when not compacting, holds more items than a normal drawer, so be it. I'm actually going to expand this a little bit to add a drawer for each of like gravel, sand, basically each of the things that igneous extruders can make. So instead of having to rely on the RNG generation of like sand, sand, gravel, I think sand is here somewhere, yeah. Gravel, sand, and whatever, red sand for sifting, I'm just going to use the igneous extruder, one for each, and do deterministic generation. So let me just count how many I actually need. We can probably skip dust because we get infinite of that from sifting. We can probably skip smooth stone, at least for now too, just because I don't think we actually need much of it. Mostly you use smooth stone to make gravel, but we can directly make gravel, so I guess based on that, we need red sand, gravel, and regular sand as our three sifting inputs. So I need 3 more igneous extruders. Most of these resources turn out to be compactable, basically everything except stone here. Netherrack, gravel, sand, and red sand have compressed forms. Sand and red sand even have 2 compressed forms. You can either store them as sandstone, so like the 2x2 compression, or the compressed 3x3 mode. You store more items overall in the 3x3 compression, so that's why I chose to go with that. Although the 2x2s are perhaps more useful. Anyways, I did put a harden upgrade in each of these just to speed them up a little bit. As we saw before, with the harden upgrade in, they extract marginally slower than they craft. So I'm gonna say good enough. Now that we have this though, I'm going to change our routing up here such that each sifter is supplied by, are these getting, they're not even running at 100% uptime. I'm going to switch them such that they're all each being supplied by a single one of these resources. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 total sifters, right? 1 for netherrack, which will stay here. And then 1 for gravel, sand, red sand, and overworld matter. By using different colors on each of the sorted, effectively channels here, we can ensure that like red sand is always going on light blue to the red sand sifter, the regular sand is always going to the sand sifter, gravel comes here, yada yada yada. So anyways, that's the input side done. It's now completely disjoint from our relatively slow block breaker. The block breakers still make other things like granite, which cannot be made with the stone generator or with the igneous extruder. So these block breakers aren't completely obsolete yet, but they're pretty close. Anyways, all that's left now is to take the outputs, stash them into drawers. But first we have to craft a whole boatload of drawers. All sifting outputs are now in one drawer system here. It's perhaps not the best organized, like the diamond one should probably go here or something, but whatever. Once it's all hooked up to refined storage, it really doesn't matter that there's no rhyme or reason to the ordering here, like not all of the ore chunks aren't adjacent to each other, etc., etc. One thing I noticed is that the ore pieces do not actually automatically compact into ore chunks through compacting drawers here, which is a little bit unfortunate. It means that we're going to need to use some external crafter or compactor or something to turn the pieces into chunks when it's time to smelt them. But at the very least, this system stores everything, so I don't have to worry about overfilling the output chests here. And in fact, there were a few chests here. I'll probably just transfer everything that's stored in these chests over to the drawers as well, and hopefully that doesn't overfill like the dust one or something. But dust does compact into the blocks, so that should be fine. One meeny problem with this setup, I can't jump past here anymore to get from one half of my base. Oh wait, oh, how does that work? So I can't jump past, but if I shift jump, I can get through that. I see. And I think it works the same going that way. I can't walk past it. Wait, no, I can't shift past it either. How did I get through? Oh. Okay, we shift jump up, and then we walk here and let go of shift to go down. I see. Interesting. All right, well, never mind then. I was going to say this is kind of in the way. I was going to raise the pipes by a block so I could get past here. But no, we don't have to do that. Cool. Because I can't go over, right? If I try to go over it, it's like ow, ow, ow. At least until I get my poison immunity. With storage cleaned up, at least a little bit, let's move on to our next goal, which would be refined storage. So, run some iron and quartz through the induction smelter. And that should give us quartz enriched iron. I think it's a 3-to-1 ratio, so I'll have a little bit of extra iron left over. That's alright. So quartz enriched iron leads the quest. The machine casing is... oh, it uses a machine frame. Oh well, I've got machine frames. That makes a casing. And then we have to make some silicon. So the easy way to make silicon is just out of a material stonework factory. It's literally free. But for now, because we can't make a material stonework factory yet, we'll have to do it the hard way. That uses silicon dust, which comes from our sifters, and sand to make silicon. Let's grab some of each. Let's see, sand. 4 stacks should last a fair bit. And silicon dust. We have 10 stacks of that, so perfect. Induction smelter that. Uh-oh. So this does jam itself. Oh, it's also willing to put sand in that slot. There's no way to say... yeah, there's no way to say only put it in... oh well. But now if I put that, it's going to pull another stack of sand in? Or is it smart enough to not... The induction smelter, using sand both as an input and as a like the heating material, insulation material, does make this a little difficult. But I guess this sand is never consumed unless we process ores in here, right? Most recipes don't actually consume the sand. It's really just the ore processing. So I can just leave a stack of sand in there basically forever and it'll just jam it up. Sure. There's a lot of different types of controllers in the pack. What we want though is the refined storage controller. So make one of those. And I also want probably a disk drive next. So that needs another advanced processor. Most of the processors are quite cheap, except the advanced one. It uses a diamond each. But I mean, I have a comfortable number of diamonds, let's say. Not quite infinite, but we're not terribly short on them either. While crafting the refined storage components, I noticed another small problem with how I was doing my storage. Turns out there's a lot of small problems here. So, the way I'm extracting from these pipes is just using the default extract mode here, which means that I think the mechanism pipes try to avoid oversending to inventories. That is, if it sees that the drawer has, say, one input slot, these pipes will, once one of them has said, yep, I'm sending something to that inventory slot, while the item is in the pipe, nothing else will send to that slot. That's, presumably it's to avoid oversending to the slot. And I think the drawer controller here is implemented such that it has one virtual input slot. So what's happening before I hook this up, in fact, I can probably show you just by disconnecting this. We'll set that way. That effectively disconnects it. We'll see that most of these stop sending items. And in fact, they effectively get latched to only send a very low quantity of items. Maybe each one, maybe they're not aware of each other, but each one only sends one type of item at a time, effectively, resulting in items backing up in these sieves because of its attempt to not oversend to the drawer. So my solution to that is to hook it up a buffer chest very physically nearby the drawer, and then empty from that buffer chest into a drawer controller that's on the same network. That way, any items that don't make it directly into the drawer get sent to here, and then get sent into the drawer controller. And because the logistical sorter is effectively one block worth of item teleportation, there's no travel time that the item spends in transit. So this is one of those... item transportation gets weird once you start using pipes that have transport time. Really, item teleportation pipes are way stronger than item transport pipes because you don't have to deal with transport time shenanigans. There is the pipes mod that's in this pack, and I believe this is an item, it is a teleportation style transporter, so perhaps it's worth looking into this at some point, but we'll do that later. For now, I think I'm pretty close to be able to make the crafting grid and setting up a very simplistic refined storage network. So let's see. The grid itself is just, you view the contents of your network there. While that alone is technically useful, having a crafting table on it is significantly more useful. And there we go. All right. So at the very least, you need a controller, some storage, and a crafting grid. And oh, hello, Pigman. Now we need either some type of some drives or some external storages. But for now, let's just slap up a couple of drives. We can do the small ones. What are they called? These things. Nope. They're called discs, apparently. Come on. Alright, so is 64k the small one? No, 64k is a big one. The way refined storage holds items is that each item takes effectively one, unit of storage. It doesn't do any of that types versus bytes stuff that applied logistics does. So in that sense, it's easier to, it's more intuitive. On the other hand, it results in it holding a lot less items because a 1k storage disk holds 1k items. Whereas a 1k storage cell, whatever, in applied logistics, if you hold all of the same item, holds 8,000, I believe, items. About that. So, yeah, these are easier to use, but also way less efficient. Anyways, aside from using a lot of silicon, they're also super cheap. Refined storage doesn't use any types in its storage. It's most efficient to make make less large cells as opposed to fewer or more smaller cells, because it takes 3 1Ks to make a 4K, so you get 1K for free. Now it's not technically free, right, because you have to pay the 4 basic processors, the quartz, rich iron, yada yada yada, but likewise It's 4 to 1, so in this case you get, you know, these 5 components, whatever, are effectively a 4K cell, and then again you get these 5 components are effectively a 16K cell, and you really get high benefits once you get to the larger cells here. You know, for the price of 4 advanced processors, a quartz iron, and a redstone dust, you get effectively a 64K worth of storage. And as you go even higher, it gets even sweeter of a deal until you reach the maximum size, which is apparently this one, 16 million and change. But for now, 64K is as big as I can go because I've run out of silicon and stuff. So we store everything in there. Basically, with the exception of tools, there's no sense keeping anything on us. I do want the wireless system next, though, so that I can actually access this without having to physically click on the grid. So this requires a transmitter. Ooh, that requires an ender pearl. And this presumably doesn't have a sneaky way to get it, do we? I could either trade with piglins. I guess that'll be the plan. I have some gold. How about first I'll move all my items over so that I have everything in one place. And then we'll figure out how to do wireless. I've moved almost all, maybe even all of the items that I have over into here. And altogether it barely dents our disk. We're 10% into it. So a 64K disk will last probably well into the mid game. Anyways, now that we have all of our standalone items stored, let's go ahead and hook up our drawers as well. So I have 2 drawer networks, one over here. To hook it up, just put an external storage attached to the drawer controller. And apparently this system, if filled optimally, can hold 2 billion items. Good to know, I guess. Unfortunately, it can't hold 2 billion arbitrary items. It can hold 2 billion of the specific items that are locked to the drawers. It can also, it's also double dipping a fair bit because it's counting. Do I have anything that's double compacted yet? No, but even things that are single compacted, right? It's assuming it'll hold a full 128 stacks of redstone blocks and 128 times 9 stacks of redstone dust, which is why that number is so absolutely ginormous. All right. So anyways, now that we have this hooked up, we can see all of our items, including, you know, a boatload of, wait, did I hook this up to the right block? No, I hooked this, ow, poison. Yeah, I meant to hook it up to the drawer controller, not the drawer full of netherrack. I was like, I see the netherrack, but where's everything else? As for how I'm running my cables, my plan is to run the refined storage cable directly underneath my main power line. However, that comes in, we run into a problem then when we have to get above it. So then we have to cross in weird ways because we can't intersect cables. There's no cable sharing, like Ender IO conduit type stuff in this pack. At least not that I know of. I don't think refined storage has ever had Ender IO conduit compatibility. So anyways, yeah, now we see our netherrack, stone, gravel, sand, yada yada yada, and all the good stuff that's stored in our drawers. So if I want nickel for whatever reason, I can just do this, bam, tons of nickel. And then for now I'm still manually running it over to our ore processing, but I can come here and drop it off, and then that'll process into nickel, and then we can take that out there. We'll do auto crafting later. It takes a fair bit of resources to do it, and while our resources are I mean, if we don't automate our resources now, whenever will we do it, right? All right, fine, let's do auto. Let's at least do auto ore processing now. So we'll take all of our ores. I imagine for all of these there's no reason not to, well, for the pieces, the only thing that you can do with them is craft them into chunks. Once we get into chunks, I think I'm just happy pulverizing and then smelting them. Later, we do get more efficient processing, but it's easier to make more chunks than it is to make more efficient processing, in my opinion. To do your standard 3x3 crafting table crafts in refined storage, those are just made with the crafter. And as it's literally in the name. I noticed that there's an add-on here called extra storage, and by the looks of it, it holds more patterns and is faster. Let's give it a shot. We'll make the iron one, and I guess we'll do the gold one after. Oh, need more bindings. So this is slime ball. I haven't quite figured out which slime ball is easy to make. What's ichor? Okay, we can, well, that's a minute to grow. Yeah, I guess that's easy enough. Does it need slimy grass? There's slimy grass up there, but that's obviously, we're not getting there. All right, I have to find some type of slime. It's not going to be pretty, but I think I'm going to jump into my smeltery and make some slime. And if I jump into here and then fill her up, we can melt ourselves. Can I... Is that working? Yep. Melt ourselves for slime. And I'm not healing quite as fast as I thought, so I am going to die. Let me out! Nope. Well, I thought I could out-heal the melting damage. But that should at least get me a slime ball or two, right? Was it worth it? Who knows? Perhaps a more reasonable and less painful way to get slime would be to just kill the slimes that fall off the slime island and get it from them. I think these are blue slimes, but blue slimes are, I mean, they're slime balls. And this involves significantly less swimming in smelteries, which is quite painful. Yeah, that was 7 slime balls, and I didn't have to die for it. Is it worth spending 4 blocks of diamonds to make the diamond crafter? It has a few more patterns. The answer is resoundingly no, but I'm going to do it anyways. This can just be placed anywhere on your refined storage network, of course. And as long as the little dot here is not pointed towards anything, it'll just do crafting. So if the dot is pointed at something, it'll do processing. The crafters are used both for crafting and processing in refined storage, which is kind of nice. It eliminates the need for those like humongous crafting trees. So I also need patterns of some sort. Probably should have checked these recipes, make sure they were doable, but they are. Well, they use a lot of iron, but they're doable. And a pattern grid. So let's make some more quartz enriched iron. Place a pattern grid. My general preference is right next to the crafting grid, but you know, you can put it wherever you like. And I want to use it to start making patterns. So encode the recipe for a pattern on a pattern, pattern on a pattern. And now when we search here, patterns show up as craftable, and I can just craft them. No crafting CPUs required. So there we go. And now we have more patterns. I can't make too many because each one takes 10 quartz enriched iron, or sorry, 3 quartz enriched iron, and I'm just basically out of iron. I have 2 iron, 49 quartz enriched iron, and 32 iron nuggets, or whatever, ore pieces, and no process iron, although we've completed the uranium quest. Good job. We're gonna have to come up with a better source of iron than sifting, I think, because sifting only overworld matter produces iron, and it's not even a super high percent, right? It's 40%. So maybe we can take a look at that now. We can melt iron golems, but we're going to need a way to heal the iron golem for that to really work out. There's no like AoE regen, is there? There's splash regen, that's not going to do it. Like an environment controller? Nope. Although this is a mob spawning system, I kind of want to figure out how this works. Is there anything in here? I guess it's easier to look for. Iron ingot. Can we use that to we can do husks, or here we go. Iron golems with a DNA sample. We can make that. And yeah, okay, let's figure out how the mob cages work. So, never mind, we have to get into miniaturization crafting. Let's there's so many things I can do. We can do auto ore processing, we can watch slimes fall out of the sky. Let's do that mob stuff. I'm gonna get distracted a whole bunch. We're gonna set aside auto ore processing. We do have auto crafting of at least the 3x3 recipes, which might help. And let's do the mob cages. So in order to get to mob cages, we have to, as we saw, we have to do the miniaturization crafting, which is kind of annoying, but that's why I have this tab open. Haha. So we need 4 field projectors, which requires Eyes of Ender, which requires... I'm going to get my Ender Pearls from trading with piglins, I think. So let's get our gold. We have a little bit of it. Hopefully that's enough. And a pair of gold boots so that they don't attack us. And I guess we'll use smooth stone or regular stone and build a little platform in the end to spawn them. Or sorry, in the nether to spawn them. Oh no. We're in a Crimson Forest biome, which means in addition to piglins, which are chill, we get the I forget what they're called. Pumbaa. Pumbaa's not chill. Wow, a lot of things spawn over there. So the thing about Pumbaa is that he has a weakness. Ow. I was gonna say you hit him from the other side of a fence, but apparently he's like not that stupid. Anyways, I think these guys follow you if you hold gold. So leave me alone, Pumbaa. I don't want to fight you. I just want your friends. I want to barter with them. I'm here, piglins. I'm gonna try to bait them to this side of the fence. Alright, call me Dream, but I dropped a piece of gold to try to bait some over, and I got 3 Ender Pearls from it. Yeah, I know, I'm a cheater. But anyways, they apparently chase after the dropped gold, not the gold in your hand. Also, the babies just steal your gold, so they're kind of useless. If you hit them, obviously you upset everything, so like I don't want to hit them, but I want the baby gone. So, ow! Stop it, Pumbaa! Alright, I think we're just gonna let the baby do its thing. I don't know. They're all running around into the overworld. This is a disaster because of Pumbaa. Pumbaa, you suck. Trade with me. I ended up pushing most of them into the overworld where I think they don't trade anymore. They become zombies. Whoopsies. But we got our 3 Ender Pearls with a little bit of luck. I swear I didn't cheat. I just found it pretty funny that's how that worked out. But anyways, we can now make our field projector. I hope. Can we? Oh, we have to pour molten blood. Alright, fine. Ratios work out pretty weird for this, but I think what I'm going to do, if I push piglin into there, we can get blood. Anyways, I'm going to... Each blaze dust melts into 20, but we use it in multiples of 50. I only have 3 Ender Pearls, so I think I'm only going to make 1 Ender Eye and leave the extra molten blaze in the smeltery, like a monster, because it takes 2 Eyes of Ender to make the wireless refined storage stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna leave extra fluids in the smeltery like a monster. And I'm just being a bad person today. So anyways, let's make that miniaturization. Oh, you spell it. Here somewhere. It's pinned, right? Nope, it's not pinned. Now it's pinned. No, now it's not pinned. Apparently the items are renamed to just a field projector, not a miniaturization field projector. You got me. Alright, well let's do that wireless stuff real quick. Wireless. So we need a transmitter. That shouldn't be too bad. And I think the range is dependent on the number of upgrades we put in this, but for now we'll just accept the like the basic range, which is apparently 16 blocks. All right, maybe we need a bit more than that, but we also need the receiver. So I want the wireless crafting grid, this one. Once you craft your wireless grid, shift right click it to a controller to link it and then charge it. I think these can directly charge items, right? Good. I was about to say I'm not actually quite sure how to charge this thing, but the generators can, and I think it uses energy. Is it per operation? Looks like it's per operation. Look at that, we completed the Lapis quest. But we've also completed everything in here. Another sea buck for me. And now let's see about extending the range of this thing. So those use range, these things, range upgrades. At 3 Ender Pearls each, we are going to barter with piglins a bit more. And perhaps I'll try to set up something that's a bit less awful of a system. Can I make a bow? I guess we could make a vanilla bow. At least I'll be able to shoot Pumbaa if he... Come on, let me make sticks. If he keeps harassing me. Well, ha 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 ha, I trapped a bunch of piglins. Give me your ender pearls. I think they despawn if I don't name them, but I don't have name tags on hand. So what we'll just do is let them despawn, and then if I need more, I can trap more later. But I think it's on average, it's like 17 or 18 gold per ender pearl. So off these, like I brought 5 stacks of gold. I expect we'll get at least 6 ender pearls, hopefully more. Ow, Pumbaa, cut it out, man. Now let's test some new vanilla mechanics. So I know piglins, we just saw one run off the edge, get mad at you if you open a chest around them. Does that apply to modded chests? No, it does not. Excellent. So this lets we can store items here while we're bartering, because they fill up our inventory incredibly fast. Secondly, I think if I give them a helmet or any equipment, they'll wear it, right? And if they're wearing, or does that only apply to, do they not wear hats? But if they're, no, they do wear hats. If they're wearing your gear, they'll never despawn, right? So they can't despawn when they get the loot from, say, killing you. So let's give them all a helmet, just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Turns out, golden helmets are probably not the best thing to try to make them wear. I think they'll trade gold equipment or something, because I gave them 6 helmets and there's only 3 of them wearing it. But on the other hand, every now and then they give boots, and they just pick up the boots they give back to me. So I think everyone's wearing something, and our total yield from all that was all the stuff we see in here. So I'm gonna go back and grab like a chest transporter, or perhaps a cardboard box, and yeah, stack and a half of ender pearls. Not half bad, plus some other good stuff. Let's start with 2 range upgrades, see how big that is. 24, 32. Oh wow, these suck. Let's go all the way for 4 then. Oh, nope, looks like I don't have enough quartz enriched iron. Dang it, 40 blocks? I mean, if I center it a bit better, that covers basically the entire base. I'm a little bit curious how much energy that's actually using though. Do I have to be concerned? This tells me, right? Wireless transmitter, 32 FE attack. Okay, that's fine. Wait, did I... Is that 3 or 4? 3. All right, let's make 4, and then I'll put it centered in the base. Centered-ish. Goodbye, 12 ender pearls. 48 blocks. Wow. Yeah, these wireless things kinda suck. But with it at 48 blocks, that's enough to cover the entirety of the base. So good enough for now. As we expand, we'll just need to have more than one wireless node, unlike with Applied Logistics, where one wireless transmitter covers the entire base, and then some out to, you know, many thousands of blocks. But oh well. 40 FE a ticket. That's basically free. Is there like a total network cost? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's very low. Oh wow, the crafter, even while idle, uses more. Oh, there we go, 108. That's like almost 1 windmill's worth. We'll have to upgrade our power relatively soon too, but that'll also be for another time, because we are out of time now. So I guess the bob cages can wait till next time. We'll make our miniaturization field, and hopefully not run into anything too unexpected along the way here. Lots of multiplays. But anyways, that's it for today. We'll be back next time for more Seaopolis goodies. Take care. Bye-bye.